Hi, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my channel. Today, for my Botanical Beauties page for primroses, I thought I might have a bit of a go at some mixed media, just for something different. Each of my pages for this journal I've tried to sort of play with a different technique, and I'm not ready to do the primrose bit, but I want to play with the background. And so what I thought I would have a go at is some stenciling with some modelling paste. This is a cheap brand that I found at our Aldi store. They make they supply lots of art materials. My other ones that I've had on my shelf have dried up, but this one is hanging in there. So we're going to have a go at that. I've got some stencils, and this is my palette that I've used for other things that still has a bit of dried up dye. As soon as you spray it with a bit of water, it reactivates. I've got some stamps, and yeah, just going to have a bit of play. So I thought you might like to come along for this little bit of the journey. So what I've done is I've sprayed this side of the palette with some water that you probably just can't see. Give it another squirt just so you know I did it. And then I'm going to add some of this modelling paste. I haven't done this before, but you know, the first time for everything. I'm going to scoop up a bit with my palette knife, and I'm going to swish it around in here because I just didn't want it white. So I just thought I'd pick up a bit of the colour here. It'll be a bit wet. Yeah, see what happens, eh? Cool. All right. It's not, it's not really bright, and I didn't want it to be. I just didn't want it to be white. Didn't want it to be any particular colour other than just maybe a bit grungy. So I've picked this stencil here that I don't know whose brand it is, got no idea. But I kind of want a bit of that one, is what I've decided to add at the top there. So with this little smushy mess that I've made in here, see what happens, eh? All right. I think it should work all right. I don't see why it wouldn't. I'm just trying to add some texture to the page because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Well, it's a bit of something. It's a bit of something. Going to add another bit down here. It doesn't have a lot of colour attached to it, does it? Thought it might have had a little bit more. Maybe what I can do is colour it later. Rather than add fabric, I just thought I'd try this for a change. And go a little bit further along. I don't know if you have these sorts of products on your shelf. I do, because mixed media is something that I've played a fair bit with. Yes, stitching is, my one true love. All right, I'm actually going to put this on hold just for a second, so I'll be back. I just need to wash these things out because it sets like concrete. And now my next bit is going to be adding a little bit of text. This isn't dry yet. You can dry it with like a heat gun, and will bubble. It's best if you can let it dry by itself. And so I'm going to do this bit. This video is probably going to go over a couple of days. But what I want to do is add some text. So I've got this stays on stone grey, and I've got this bit of text here. All I'm doing is just building up some background, and then what I'll do is then sort my primroses out to go over the top of it. Simply building some interest, really. I have I'm just got to be careful, that's all, of that texture paste. I don't want it to be like make a major production out of it, but just something. I've got this one as well, so I might put that one on too, just for an added interest. Don't ask me why, don't know, just thought I'd have a go at it. For those of you that probably partake in, junk journals and things, you probably do something similar, or other mixed media type things. Yeah, like I said, I'm just being careful of that texture paste so that it doesn't smudge. Okay, I've done that one, and now I've got a brown one, a brown stamp pad. You just can't see it. It's got to be here somewhere. I'm right here. I haven't gone anywhere. I just can't see the stamp pad. Oh gosh, it's just like well, I don't know. Found it. Brand spanking new one. How pretty is it? It's like got different colours. Bought that. I went to a Craft Alive fair on the weekend, and they had a lot of, paper art sort of stuff. Oh, sorry. Just shot you off in the other direction then. I was just trying to find the scissors. Anyway, I saw this stamp pad and I thought, oh, I'm going to have a go at that one. Quite liked the idea of it being multicoloured. It looks like a makeup pad. Your blusher or your bronzer or your whatever. So with this one, I've got this piece here that's, I don't know, it might look like lace, sorry. Those bits are on the back, a bit distracting. So let's see what this does as far as, I guess you can just do like this, like you do with a bronzer, where you kind of mix the colour up a bit. Now, see what happens, eh? Thought that it might look like a bit of lace going down the side. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. Instead of adding fabric, I'm just doing it with stamps. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, it's a bit of something. I don't know whether it's great, but I might keep it going down there. Oh, there's a little fly. Did you just see that? Just flew in and flew out. Oh, for goodness sakes, what are you doing? I'm sitting inside. Oh, I don't know. That might not be my best achievement. I might have to add a bit of lace over the top of that. Yeah, that wasn't great, was it? All right, let me go back and review the situation. I might put a piece of lace there. I'm actually going to have another go at it. I know that's being a beggar for punishment, isn't it? I think it's just because I'm trying to blend all the colours together. Made a mess of the stamp pad. Yeah, I just thought that I probably just didn't have it on straight. If this side turns out terrible, I'll put a piece of lace on there. It's just me having a play, really. All right, let's have one more go at that. And then, that was silly, wasn't it? Oh well, if I can just only stamp that bit, try and keep the other off. Yeah, that looks a bit better. I wonder if I go over that another time. The modelling paste isn't quite dry. You know, I can only make this worse. Can't make it. All right, I'm going to have another go at that because I might be able to fix it. I'm just going to do like that. Just thought it gave a suggestion of lace rather than actual lace. Oh, that little fly. Oh, gosh. Is he flying in front of the screen? Oh, he's on the plastic now. I'll have to go and get some fly spray. One little fly has come to land here. Yeah, I'm just trying to get rid of that, you know, that line that I've got there. It doesn't really matter if I go over it a few times. Oh, slightly better than it was. All right, well, that's that layer. I need to just go and have a play and work out, feel like something else needs to happen kind of here. I want to, when I do the primrose, I'm going to paint it on fabric and then put it over the top, and I'm just trying to build up some layers underneath. I'll work out what I'm going to do next and come back to you. Okay, I'm still playing. Funnily enough, the modelling paste is actually, you know, it's nearly dry. Now, it might not be as raised as some other modelling paste. Yeah, you know, it's a bit of texture. So I thought so I did a little stamp here just to, you know, fill the spot in. And I thought now I'm really going to have a play with some colours. I've got this nice little new blending tool that I bought at the craft show as well. And what I want to do is I know some of you might go, what are you doing, woman? But I didn't want pink. So, but I kind of wanted pink, and I kind of want it not pink. So I'm just having a bit of a play. Yeah, I'm keeping it off. I'm keeping it off the modelling paste without, yeah, so it's not pushing down into it. Because like I said, I'm going to paint the primroses, and that will be on a separate piece of fabric. But this is just building some background interest, and sometimes it's about getting over the fact that you're going to cover most of it up. Took me ages to get over it. I would go, oh no, I've just done all of this work and now I'm covering it up. What are you talking about? Why are you making me do that? And I understand now the value of that. The fly disappeared, so that was good. I don't know where he came from. Trouble was that over the weekend we had really, really, really hot weather, and tonight it's cold. Had the heater on. Stupid. You know, air conditioner on Saturday night, sleeping with fans on. Look at that. See how there's like a bit of a blend of colour? Oh yeah, I know. I might have destroyed the ink pad, but I'm all right with the fact that that might have happened. I think that modelling paste there is close. So I'm trying to make that join up with that bit there, just so I've got a little bit more. I think, yeah, I want that bit there. So I like the mix of the colours. I love this little blending brush. I've probably destroyed it. I've got brown on it and I've got red on it and fossilised amber and raspberry or whatever the colours are. But I like the blend of colours, so I'm all right with it. It's my tool. It might wash out. I don't really know whether you can wash them. You probably can. This one's going off the page. But I think I like the blend of the different mediums. How cool does that look? I think it looks pretty good. I might have one more bit over here. I'm going to turn it on this side, which could be good or it could be bad. Just feel like I need something there. But given there's ink on the other side, I'm just going to go carefully. Oh, the heater's kicked in. It must have gone down below 20 degrees because that's what we had it set at. And it was only like about 18 all day today. And so it's now, yeah, good. How cool does that look? And it's just like, instead of having all of these extra fabrics, I've just, I've designed my own bit of fabric. I'm going to have another bit there. I'm getting never very patient with things drying. I used to dry things with the heat gun all the time until I realised that it's not great. Look at that. Oh, I love that. Just even if I say so myself, I think it looks good. Cool. All right. I'll be back when I've done the next stage. Tomorrow maybe. Okay. So now it's time to paint a primrose. And so I've got my Inktense blocks out. I've got some colour already happening, ready to go. Just going to move myself a bit closer and you a bit closer, just sometimes need to be a bit closer, that's all. I've decided to go with a flat brush. It's a number 2 flat. And what I've done so far is drawn out the image. I just found some flowers on the internet and, drew my own sort of rough interpretation of it. And so my plan is to do some painting and some embroidery. I've got a new love, and it's fluoro threads. So when I've finished painting, my intention is to highlight the flower, some parts of the flower with fluoro threads. I'm painting on a piece of old linen. It's quite coarse, and yeah, it's just proving to take a little bit more to get the paint on. I've drawn the sketch out in an iron away pen so that when I'm ready, I'll get rid of the black lines. I don't want them there. I may add some sketchy lines, don't know, with a permanent black pen. But as you can see, it's taking a bit of the paint to penetrate the linen. I've just gone a little bit mad on fabric painting. I'm just making what's on the palette a little bit wetter to see if that'll move it a little bit quicker. I've made a few videos now painting on fabric. Painting and stitching are definitely two of my loves. Oh gosh, so sorry. I always forget to put my phone on silent when my husband isn't at home, and then he comes home and activates the front cameras, which make that noise. So sorry about that. I've got it on silent now, but he's not being very quiet coming in the door, so he's banging and crashing. I don't know what's worse, the doorbells or the crashing bell, the door. I don't know. But anyway, never mind. That's all right. I've got it on silent now, so I've given him the hand signal. The, finger on my lips, saying, try and be a little bit quieter. But who knows? So I had a bit of did a bit of research. Primroses seem to come in every single colour of the rainbow almost. I quite like the white ones, but given that I'm painting on white linen, thought that was probably a bit pointless. So yeah, I'm doing it in this deep pink colour. But as I said, there's going to be a fair bit of embroidery on there as well. So this is just the first coat, if you like. So I hope you're all well. We all are. Getting ourselves thinking about planning a trip in December. And so that'll be nice. So I'm trying to get a couple of videos done in advance, so I'm not 100% sure when you'll see this one. So it's probably best that I don't say what day of the week or anything like that is. It is a weekday. The weekends seem to be quite full lately, and the next couple are much the same, with some bit of family time. All right, these other ones are going to be paler, so that's why I've mixed up this pale pink colour here. because they won't have the same level of embroidery on them as the darker pink ones will. I find painting with white, it doesn't seem to matter what medium, what sort of paint it is, it's quite opaque, so you don't get that nice translucent colour that you'd get when with some of the other colours. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's so you can see it. I have no idea. I guess there's a reason behind it. I just don't know what it is. But yeah, I'm assuming it's something to do with obviously the type of pigment they have to use to get white. Other pigments can be, probably a purer colour, where white's probably just made up of a chalk base, which of course is powdery. Anyway, that's all right. It will definitely dry paler. It always does. I just need a little bit more. So I'm just squishing the block around to get some of the pigment on my palette, and then mix a little bit of pink in it. I didn't want it too dark. I just wanted it to be watery. I'm just being a bit careful about how much water I am getting because it does bleed. Although in saying that, this linen possibly has a finish in it. I don't know. I thought it was an old linen. Maybe it's not. And the water isn't moving quickly. Some fabrics that you paint, it just soaks it straight up and keeps running away with it. Good. And then I've just got a couple of extra little floaty petals here, just to add a bit of interest. And then when I hit it with the iron, those black lines will disappear. And we'll just be left with a petal shape, I'm assuming. All right, I'm going to do the green bits next. I'm not 100% sure. I've thought about sort of an olivey colour green, but I might brighten it up a little bit with a bit of yellow. You can't see what I'm getting, but I've started with this one here, and then I've just added a bit of this one here, which is kind of a yellowy green, and that's probably about nearly the colour that I want, I think. And again, another bit of a research. Some of them have very bright greenery, and some of them have this more olivey colour. Just going to squish a bit of water off the brush because I don't want it to be too wet. This is just the back of one. Oh yeah, I made it very wet. Wanting it to stay a bit sketchy, not too, botanically correct. Bit of green in there. But they, funny flower, aren't they? Some of them seem to pop right out of the greenery and others seem to be very close to the greenery, so mine are popping out. Just depends which plant you're looking at the time. Now I'm just going to see what this iron does. I probably prefer it to dry a little bit, so I might actually do that. And these ones have a very bright. Where is the paper towel? Right here. Oh, right here. Bright yellow and orangey centres. So yeah, that's where I'm headed. I probably don't want it to be too watery because I don't want it to bleed too much. I mean, I want it to go in there, but I want to take it off like a rocket. All right. This one can have a bit. It'll go orangey anyway because where the yellow hits the pink, it should go a bit of an orangey colour. But if I want to help it along a little bit, I might add a bit of orange. Just a little bit. Oh, yoicks. Who needs fluoro thread when you've got that colour? Blimey. Just adding a dot with my brush just to add that bit of orange in there. Yes, I've become a bit of a fan of fluoro. Who would have ever known that would come back into my life after, 30 years or something? I don't know how long it's been since we had fluoro, or when fluoro was as popular as it was. I can't remember. All right, I'm going to let it dry just for a bit. I'm going to hit it with the iron so all the black lines will be gone, and I'll be straight back to you. Well, it's nearly dry, and I just thought, keep going with you. I've decided as it's dried, the petal shapes are sort of becoming a little less defined, even though I hadn't ironed the heat erasable pen away. So I just thought I'd use the permanent marker just to put a few sketchy lines in so that I know where I'm going. Just felt that it might fade away a bit more than I probably wanted. So I'm just trying to keep the lines pretty sketchy. I'm going to hit it with the iron in 2 seconds with you, and I suspect that it will still fade a fair bit, but that's okay. I can add some colour back in with thread. Have I done them all? Oh, well, I'll soon know when I hit it with the iron. Cool. All right. Yep. That's probably close to being dry. You can usually feel it. It's colder, where the where the moisture still is. I think it's pretty good, and it didn't fade very much. Leaving it to dry definitely helps, because if you just be too quick about it, I think the heat just irons it away. All right, good. It's kind of looking okay. I'm thinking I'm going to add some green thread to those bits. I'm adding some pink and orange to the 3 main flowers, but I'm leaving the paler ones as they are. So once I've got all my threads sorted, I'll be back. I've been working on the embroidery. I've done the green just in a split back stitch with some little straight stitches. Didn't think that I needed to probably show you, but I'm back just doing, I just decided to do a border around the flowers, the primrose flowers. I picked a cotton that I think it's not a perfect match, but I think it adds some interest. I've done that fluoro orange with some. The yellow isn't fluoro, but it's pretty bright. But that's okay. Let's call it a bright, not a fluoro. But the yellow is definitely a fluoro. So yeah, I'm nearly done. I didn't want to spend a great deal of time, additional time here, because I think this video is probably getting to be long enough. But I just thought I'd come back for a second and show you where I'm headed. I'll finish this bit and then I'll do the centre, and then that'll probably be close to it before I add it to the background. I'm just going to do a running stitch around the background. Alright, so I'm just about out of thread. I'm not going to try and keep going on that one for a second, because yeah, it's nearly done. Nearly done. Excuse me. Yeah, bright yellow. The yellow fluoro is it's almost greeny, so wasn't the colour that I wanted to put in here. But I'm happy with the fluoro orange. I just think certainly brightens it up. Don't know if you like using fluoro thread, but it's my new favourite. I've been using fluoros on a few different things. I've been doing an online class with Fleur Woods, and she talks about fluoro being, that added interest, a little bit of a pop of colour, and bringing something to life. It's not meant to be real. Maybe primroses don't have fluoro orange, but they're pretty bright orange. So I'm just doing little colonial knots in the centre, 5 of them, sort of to match up with the petals really. I noticed in the real flower it almost looks like a star shape. I probably haven't achieved that, but that's all right. That's okay. I don't mind that it doesn't really. It's not supposed to be a real flower. It's just supposed to be my interpretation of it. So, yep. I'm nearly done with it. Four and 5. Not really a star shape, not really, but one in line with the petals, one each. Petal has got a little French knot. Yeah, nothing that looks anything like a star shape, but I'm all right with it. I just have to be careful tying off the back here, because I've only got that one layer of the linen, and so sometimes I have backing fabric, but I thought about doing it while it was attached to the backing. Here's that fluoro orange. Look at it. How's that for a colour? Love it. It's got a slightly different texture to normal DMC. It's not a DMC thread. a lovely friend gave me some. She knew that I liked it and found it and thought that I might like it, and I'm thrilled to bits to have it. Comes in quite a few colours, but I'm just choosing the orange for now. But yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't go it's fluffier, but it's softer than DMC thread. So what I've been doing, what I did here was just sort of do 3 straight stitches at each French knot, sort of the middle one a little bit higher, and then 2 side ones a little bit lower. Just thought that that was sufficient to add to this. But just wanted to come back and show you what I was doing. Just straight stitches. I still want to go through the French knot, but I was jolly close. A funny old weather day today. It sort of started off quite cool and then warmed up and then got cool again. So yeah, I don't know what the weather's doing. Funny weather, can't predict it really. I sort of started off with a lighter top and I've had to resort back to a wind cheater jacket because I was a bit cool, and while it's not cold enough to have the heater on, it's still cool in the house, so just wanted to have a bit of warmth actually. And sometimes I find buzzing around in the morning doing my normal housework or cooking or something, I warm up, and then when I start sitting in the afternoon for a little bit of time, if the house or the weather hasn't warmed up, I get a bit cool again. And I think it's just that, lack of movement when I'm just sitting quietly stitching. Yep. All right. I'm nearly done with this, so I might zip off for a second and come back when I'm ready to finish the page, just so we're not sitting here for hours on end. Okay, back in a second. Well, that's it. I'm ready to stitch my primrose to my background page. I was happy with how that turned out. Something a little bit different. Throughout this whole nearly 12 months, I've tried to do something different, a different technique, a different layout, just having a play really. I've handwritten these on. I'm going to stitch them on in a minute. I just wanted to stitch this on. I just picked a really fine, crochet cotton in a kind of a matching colour really. Just thought I would do it as a I lost my thimble. What did I do with that? No idea. Gone. It's gone. Very strange. Well, I've got another one. I got one in reserve here, attached to my needle book. Whenever there's a panic going on, that there's no... Oh my gosh. Don't look. That was terrible. No, I'm going to wipe that. So I'm done. I'm just laughing to myself because I spent a couple of minutes looking for my thimble. Might have been attached to my finger already. Good. I'm happy with how the background turned out. I've tried to sort of, throughout this whole project, this is the 11th month, can you believe that? I've tried to do something different, practicing, experimenting with different techniques, And while previously I've added lots of pre-printed fabrics, just decided to have a go at printing my own. It's not going to be ever washed, so that turned out all right. It's not thick, but neither did I want it to be thick. You know, some modelling pastes are much thicker. A bit of stamping, a bit of stenciling. Now I'm just going to stitch the square on. I'm just using crochet cotton in a similar colour. Just thought that I would do a fairly even stitch as a border around it, just to hold it in place. I've handwritten my little things that they're going to go onto, but I'll wait till I put this one on first. So yeah, a couple more minutes and I'll be done. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching me play with a little bit of mixed media for this one. I've been a bit obsessed with fabric painting. I've got another video that I'm planning on putting up soonish. Nothing to do with much except that I've had a play with using acrylic ink, so that's coming up. But yeah, I'm 1 week ahead of myself with this, which is great because we've got another week of November. If I can just get myself a bit organised, I'm always happy about that. So yeah, this is me. All right, I think you've probably seen enough of me. I'll keep working on it. I'm going to stitch these little labels on as well. Primrose in November. They'll go down there and you'll probably see it in the thumbnail. Cool. All right. I hope you're having a good day doing what you like. I've just had a lovely day doing what I like. All right. Thanks for tuning in and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.